Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Herb's Comic Book Journey. So in this situation, we have been on a roll the last few weeks with Marvel Comics. I'm sorry, it's one of my favorite comic books. I prefer them over DC. But we're gonna get back into it since we had an amazing time last week talking about Iron Man. We're gonna dig deep into this one, talking about Captain America. And this is the setup for Captain America Winter Soldier. This will be a two-part episode. So part one is Captain America Out of Time. It was written in 2004, so it's a fairly old story, but it's not as old as the Demon in the Bottle. So let's go and get into it. For starters, we're in Russia, and you see General Red Guardian, who has been captured by General Lukin. General Lukin interrogates him to the point to where after he's done with him, he pretty much offs him. Just in case for those who don't know, the Red Guardian is the equivalent of Captain America, but for Russia. The Red Guardian, after the Red Guardian is killed, General Lukin since he's an arms dealer, he has a deal going on with the Red Skull. And the Red Skull is basically looking around. He likes what he sees, but at the same time, he sees this person inside the status chamber, and he's like, what the hell is that? Oh, I got to have that right there. And General Lukin says, look, unless you can give me the Cosmic Cube, I ain't giving him up. So that's a no for me. And but at the same time, the Red Guardian the Red Skull says to him, look, I don't even have the Cosmic Cube, but if I had the Cosmic Cube, I'm not giving it up. It's too powerful. No, I'm not giving this up. So we fast forward years later, and you see the Red Skull. He's in this upper high rise in the middle of New York, what it looks like. And he's sitting there drinking on his wine, just thinking, oh, everything's great going on for me. I got everything that I need, and I'm about to take out Captain America, my arch rival. But we see that Captain America, Steve Rogers, is pretty much in a shitty situation in his life. The Avengers pretty much disassembled, and he also has Hawkeye had just died. So he's pretty much in a shitty situation. And the Red Skull, we get back to the Red Skull, and he's sitting there just thinking like, oh, I'm about to take over the world. As we go back into looking at Steve Rogers, Captain America, he's sitting there working out in his home, and all of a sudden he sees the SHIELD's new liaison, who is Sharon Carter, his ex, but also she's the new liaison, and she's also known as Agent 13. Agent 13 comes in, says, hey, checking up on Steve, see, hey, everything okay with you? And she's basically saying, just making sure that he's okay, because there was a situation that happened in Coney Island where Captain America was he was reckless as fuck. So in the midst of all this, he took out these bad guys who are terrorists, and in the midst of all this, he killed a lot of them. It was really reckless to the point to where some of the guys got killed, but the ones who did survive are in they're pretty much in grave state. And it was unorthodox of Captain America. So, but getting back to Red Skull, getting back to Captain America, Sharon's actually looking at him like, hey, I just want to make sure that you're okay. He's like, yeah, I'm all right, but she knows that he's not in the right mindset. There's something wrong going on. And so we go, but as she's getting ready to leave, they say like, hey, I'm just ready to get at Red Skull. Everything's gonna be fine. We on the lookout for him. Little did they know, there's a person walking right past them as Captain America goes back inside. It's the Red Skull disguised as somebody. And we go back to his high rise, talking about Red Skull, and he gets a call from General Lukin. And Lukin saying like, hey, so you got that Cosmic Cube, I want to get it up off you. Red Skull's looking at him like, Slim, I just told you a while back, I'm not giving this damn thing up. It's too powerful. Why the hell would I give it to you? And then all of a sudden you hear just shots going off, and it takes out you see the Red Skull just fall down to the ground. All of a sudden, you see this guy that's just walking up behind him. You just see his boots and everything. He's like, hey, it's done. We good. I got the Cosmic Cube. And rolls out. But in the midst of all that, you see the Red Skull is dead on the spot. Flash forward, we pretty much see Steve in a dream state, and he sees Bucky Barnes, his boy from back in the day, is getting killed, but it's not the same way that he remembers. So he's sitting there tripping and saying like, hey, I don't understand what the hell is going on. This is not how he died. So he gets a phone call from Nick Fury from S.H.I.E.L.D. S.H.I.E.L.D. calls in and say, hey, you need to get up in here. Emergency just happened. So he gets in, Agent 13, and Nick Fury informs Captain America that, hey, the Red Skull's been killed. We need to go over to the site. So when they get to the site, they see that it's this, I guess, this stand that was holding the Cosmic Cube. They don't know what it is, but it's the stand that hold this thing that's holding the Cosmic Cube. They're like, okay, what the hell is this? It's giving a lot of power and letting us know where the source is coming from. But before they do that, they bring him in because the Red Skull is a clone of Captain America. They have to do the DNA sample because they want to make sure that this is the real Red Skull that's died. As they're going on, the whole entire situation is going on. They get the DNA swab, and then they go down. It's saying that, hey, this is being taken place down, and the signal is giving it down underneath in the sewer system of New York. Usually a situation like this, Captain America could just diffuse the situation, go on about his business, and everything is hunky-dory. But he also sees that Agent 13 is down there with him. And he's saying like, yo, cut the bullshit. What the hell is going on? So she informs him that, hey, this whole entire situation, Nick Fury thinks that you killed the Red Skull. Obviously, it pisses off Captain America because he feels like there's no trust in anything with what's going on. You have he sees this guy that has this armband called with the initials AID, and it's Advanced Ideas Destruction. I believe that's the name of it. It's right down here. But he goes ahead and knocks him out, and pretty much sees a whole bunch of people getting ready to try to attack him. But in general, in usual situation, Captain America takes them all out and sees that there's a firebomb underneath of New York City, and he quickly has to defuse it. So he defuses it and sitting there thinking like, what the hell does Red Skull have planned? I mean, this sounds fishy, and it sounds like it's him. Meanwhile, they don't even realize that Crossbones, the guy he's underneath of Red Skull because he's working for him, is sitting in the background and just getting ready to roll out. So they quickly defuse the situation, and when they Crossbones decides to roll out. So as they trying to go ahead and take out this bomb and everything, Sharon, as Captain already took it out, Sharon calls S.H.I.E.L.D. down to go ahead and analyze the bomb, and they find out that the case that the Cosmic Cube was in actually has energy coming from what's the name of it? Paris, France. So they get on the helicarriers, try to figure out some more intelligence what's going on, and only to find out that they got to go to France, like I just said. As things are going along, you see that Union Jack, who is the UK version of Captain America, he also is trying to find out what's going on with this bomb, this weapon of mass destruction, or WMD, as we're going to call it. In the midst of all that, when he gets down there to find out where the bomb is, there's a whole bunch of aid people as well who are killed, and the bomb has gone missing. So they're trying to figure out what the hell is going on. And going on about as Captain and Agent 13 get there. They go along and try. They think that they see that the aid people are in this like, I guess, helicarrier, or not helicarrier, but like a getaway vehicle. And Cap, being Cap, the guy that he is, he takes out the whole entire thing, only to find out that they're a different type of aid. But their intelligence still can't get them anywhere because they don't have anything. But they do find out that the actual what's the name of it? The case is still, they really don't have any answers. But the the DNA test comes back in. DNA says that, hey, you are that is the Red Skull, so he's officially dead. And so as what's the name? Nick Fury says, you know what, you guys deserve some time off. Go ahead and have some R&R. So they're going on about their business. But back in Pittsburgh and Pennsylvania, an old, I guess you could say colleague or his sidekick, Jack Monroe, he's in a bar just getting drunk. He's looking at basically what Cap did over in France. And he just, as he's leaving the place, he goes on and tries to get to his car. Obviously, that's a bad thing after you're just drunk and then you're going to go drive. So, but a mysterious figure comes up and says, like, hey, you Jack Monroe? And he's like, yeah, why? Boom! Puts a hole in his chest and kills him. Next thing you know, the person puts Jack in his body inside of a trunk, and they just start rolling off. So going back to it, General Lucan is back in New York, and he has the Cosmic Cube in his hands. He's thinking everything's going to come to plan. And he ends up pulling up to the Ruxin with plans to take over. So Captain gets home, and Fury calls him and says, hey, I got a U.S. Military matter that you need to tend to. And he's like, hey, I'm not sure if this has anything to do with Red Skull, but it's a coincidence that Captain needs to deal with, basically. And he calls Tony Stark, hey, I need to use Winnie Adjust to get down to Washington. So Nick also calls up Agent 13 and says, hey, I need to have a private briefing with you. So when she gets in there, he basically tells her, like, hey, the rifle that took out the Red Skull, it was at an airport, and I need you to go and check up on this situation. Because the fingerprints on it, which came up clean, is the fingerprints of Jack Monroe. It sounds kind of weird seeing that he just got his chest caved in with the bullets, and getting to it. Yeah, so it just doesn't add up, to be honest with you, does it? So getting back to it, he goes ahead and tells her to go ahead and check, talking about Agent 13. He tells Agent 13 to go ahead and check the whole entire situation out, because I have an old tracking meter inside of Jack's shoulder, because that he used to work for S.H.I.E.L.D. And when we went, I need you to go back and check up on him. You should be able to check him out and see what's up with him. Now, keep your distance, because he is kind of unstable. Now, getting back to Cap. Cap had got over to Arlington Cemetery, only to see these two these tombstones shot the fuck up. Yeah. And the thing that was weird about it is that they belong to, what's the guy's name? The two tombstones belong to William Nuslin and Jeff Mace, who was the Spirit of 76 and the Patriot. Two friends of Captain America who had a lot to deal with him when he was still awake. And they were also, when Cap was in the deep freeze, both of them took the mantle of Captain America. But then Cap just thinks about, like, oh, damn, like, he reminisced on some times that he was dealing with them and everything. And he was just like, damn, what the hell was going on? And all of a sudden, you see Rogers just still thinking about it while he's on the road on his motorcycle. Only to find out that when the shooting that's happening on him while he's thinking about this whole situation, somebody shooting up his bike, and it turns out to be Crossbones. And he's like, "Oh shit, he's putting this all together, and like, oh, this is a setup." So as everything's going along, inaccurate memories of Bucky and Baron Zemo start to happen while he's fighting Crossbones. And I'm thinking to myself, like, me just personally, like, dude, you don't need to be thinking about shit like this when somebody's shooting at you. But I mean, hey, you got the super serum, so nothing can happen to you. Anywho, going forward, he sees that this is inaccurate memories of what's going on, and Crossbones sees like, yo, dude, you ain't even fighting at your best. This is some bullshit. You're not even worth my time right now. I'm just walking the fuck off. And Cap says to him, like, how could you shoot up those two headstones? And he's like, dude, I don't even know what the hell you're talking about. I came over here because I got a lead basically saying that it was a Russian who was led me to you. And this is all like going like, what the hell with Cap, because he's like, what are you talking about? I thought you were the person who took him out. He was like, no, I wasn't the one who took him out. It was a Russian. So Agent 13 gets to Philly, and she sees where the tracker is. Basically, has Monroe in a abandoned building. When she gets in there, she sees the body of Monroe, only to get knocked out by a person with a metal fist. Then we get back to the helicarrier. Back in the helicarrier, Fury goes ahead and hooks up with Cap. Fury pulls him in for a private meeting, a briefing. Fury has said he pulled some strings, only to find out that one of the dead military personnel from London turned out to be who was in the attack was he was an ex-Russian military soldier who was in a regiment controlled by Lukin, and is now head of Kronos Corp. Now Cap says it doesn't ring a bell to him at all. Fury says that Lukin is a protege of General Karpov. Karpov, that does ring a bell with Cap, and Cap says that yeah, me and him have history from World War II. Cap pretty much tells Fury the story, just a quick synopsis of what happened. He said basically that him and Karpov used to work, had a story back in 42, the city of Kronos, which is near Stalingrad, like I said, in 1942. Here's the backstory. Red Skull and Masterman took out the whole entire city that they were living in, and it was by a very powerful weapon. Now, what Steve doesn't know is that Karpov found Lukin with his dead family in the midst of all those super soldiers pretty much taking each other out. And so they're starting to think that maybe this may be a plan to go ahead and try to take everybody out because of that situation. But Cap informs Fury that there's somebody's been pretty much manipulating his memory, and it may be because of the cosmic cube. So Cap asked for shield transport to go, but didn't basically tell Fury where he was going. So as he got the approval, Cap said Cap left, but Fury has some as pondering over what just happened. Fury has some classified documents on his desk that says Winter Soldier. So meanwhile, in Philly, as everything is going down, uh, there's the man with the assassin with the metal hand calls up what's the dude's name, Lucan, and tells him, hey, everything is set up. Our scapegoat, who is Monroe, is dead laying there, so we set to go. I even have Agent 13 in the trunk, so everything is set for plan. So everything is coming together, and this thing looks like it's gonna be bad, like epically bad. And so Fury talks to Neil Tapper, who is a Shield, who works for Shield, and Tapper says, like, look, I'm kind of worried. We haven't heard from Agent 13 in a long time, in 24 hours. And he's feeling this way because they actually used to date it at some point. So he's like, look, could you put me on the scene so we can go ahead and look for her in Philly? And what's the name? Fury says, yeah, it's cool. Go ahead and look for her. So Cap gets to the English Channel to relive his memory. Everything is like, man, all the real memories of him and Bucky's death are coming to life, but he's sitting there like, dude, this does not seem like it's real. I honestly think that there's somebody controlling it with the Cosmic Cube. As he realizes that, yo, he gets back into the jet and says, like, yo, he got a flash of Agent 13 tied up in Philly, and he's like, yo, we got to get back over there, like, ASAP. Let's go. So they hop in the jet, they get back to Philly. He swoops in and rescues her and frees her. She tells him, hey, so I know exactly who killed Red Skull. And she's basically saying, it's Bucky from your boy back then. And Bucky, and it looks like Bucky has a clear shot at taking out Captain America, and he asks Lucan, like, hey, I have the shot, let me take him out. Lucan tells him, no, I want him to suffer. So Lucan, the Winter Soldier basically just has this remote detonator and pushes the button, and it's a huge explosion in the middle of Philly. Only to find out that it was Tapper and a whole bunch of Shield agents that was sitting in at ground zero of the whole entire explosion, and they're dead. Then you see this jet flying off with Lucan just saying with the Cosmic Cube, and says, like, hey, I'm ruling shit right now. So that is part one. Excellent story. I can't wait to get to the Winter Soldier, which is the next one. And it's a great story. Like I said, it was written in 2004. You guys should check it out. And I'm telling you, it's dope as fuck. And like me and Rick told you, and Trey, it's an amazing comic series. You gotta check it out. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I love this series. I can't wait till next week, and I'll catch you guys later. Hope you guys enjoyed this journey that we're on, Herb's comic book journey, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.